What if I told you that the person sitting right next to you, laughing at your jokes and calling you their best friend, is secretly calculating exactly what they can get from you? What if everything you thought you knew about friendship, loyalty, and human connection was just an elaborate transaction disguised as genuine care? Before we dive into the details of our investigation, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. I'm about to share something that might completely change how you see every relationship in your life. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to challenge everything you believe about the people closest to you. But by the end of this, you'll have a superpower that most people never develop: the ability to see through the masks that people wear every single day. Here's the thing that's been eating at me, and it's something I've been wrestling with for months now. As much as it pains me to admit this, I think solitude might be the answer to most of the problems we're facing today. There are so many toxic relationships, friendships, and just things happening around us, and I genuinely believe it's better to just separate yourself from all of that, or at least, that's what's been helping me tremendously. Think about it for a second. How many people come into our lives and they're only there for transactional reasons? They want something from you, or they like the opportunity to do something with you or get something from you, and when that doesn't happen, poof, they disappear. Which is fine, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We do what we do to survive, right? But I don't like it, and it's not something I want to be part of. Real friendship and genuine connections are rare these days for exactly these reasons. If someone can't get what they want from you, then they don't want to have anything to do with you. But when you give them what they want, they pretend like they're for you. They support you in everything you do, they agree with everything you say until they get what they want. And I don't think that's right. Now, it's one thing if you know about this and you allow it, if that's okay with you, but a lot of people don't realize this is happening. That's why I want to bring more attention to this pattern. The bullying dynamic that nobody talks about. Many of us have friends, or we've seen friends, who love to tease us, or others. You're in a group of friends, and there's always someone who's always getting picked on. And usually, that person who's getting bullied never says anything or never defends themselves because they don't want to be alone. They'd rather endure the bullying and torture than have to go out there and find new friends or spend time by themselves. It's way more comfortable to endure torture than to be alone, which is insane when you really think about it. We also have friends who put us down in everything we do, everything we want to do when it comes to growth and development. They laugh at us or put us down. Oh, you don't need that. Oh, you're crazy. That's crazy. Haha, you'll never do that, right? Some of them aren't that straightforward about it, but the energy is all the same, it's all the same thing. But instead of finding a new group of friends or separating ourselves and being alone, we stay there because it's much easier to endure torture than to be alone. The money test that reveals everything. We also have friends or people we're connected with who are there for financial reasons, whether it's money or some form of compensation. You don't talk to them for 3 months, and they don't talk to you for 3 months either. First time you have a conversation, hey bro, I was wondering if I could get this. Or, hey bro, I just need some of that. And you're thinking, damn, you didn't ask how I'm doing, didn't ask what's happening in my life. It's all about take. But you never give. And some people do give, but only to set up the take. Hey, I'll give you $20 so I can ask for $200 next week. Hey, I'll give you $200 so I can ask for $1,000 next month. And people really have these schemes. If you think I'm joking, go look for yourself, analyze your friends, run some tests, ask some people around. You'll see. These are the types of people surrounding us. And I'm not saying everyone around you is bad, but it is what it is. But when these people don't have that access to you anymore, they turn against you. They don't want to talk to you. When you stop watering these dead plants, you realize they were dead all along, but you have to make that move. That's why I said the answer to almost everything these days is solitude, being alone, the revolutionary mindset shift. But you don't have to feel lonely when you're alone. You're always with yourself, never alone. You know, I've been preaching this from the beginning of time to the end. I always will be. But this is just something that sticks with me, and I see it a lot in my environment. And I'm very careful about the people I surround myself with. And I love taking care of people as much as I can. If I have something to give, it's yours. What's mine is yours. If I don't have anything to give, then I don't have anything to give. But I literally took weeks off from people and thought, you know what, I'll call, let's talk a bit. Next message, hey, can I borrow some money? Hey, can I get this? Hey, can I get that? Like I said, that's fine, right? If I don't have it, I don't give it. If I don't have that extra energy to give, I don't give it. I've had people I spent time with, did a lot of things for, took care of them, and then the moment that energy changes and I notice it's become transactional relationships, and when I don't give a certain amount, when I see the energy shift, my energy starts to change too. Then they start getting worried. Oh, are you okay? Now you want to check on me? You saw my scars. You saw all the things happening. I'm open with people who are close to me. But now when you see that your compensation is about to end or might become less, now you're concerned? You're worried about me for yourself. Weird, right? The hard truth about taking responsibility. But these are people we surround ourselves with by choice. They don't force their way into our lives, we let them in. That's why you need to take responsibility. That's why I said solitude can be the answer. Isolation can be the answer for many of us to reveal a lot of truths. And I'm not telling you to drop your friends, but maybe go into a small period of isolation, some kind of solitary confinement. Just step away from people, stop talking to people, stop seeking people out, and see who's really there for you. See which of these flowers are already dead. Stop watering dead plants. You really need to take time and analyze the people around you. Analyze the people you keep talking to and want to continue being with, because they're somehow going to shape your future. Somehow, someone will always be there. Someone will always be there to use you. Someone will always be there to bring you down. Someone will always be there to discourage you or make you feel less significant because they don't feel sufficient themselves, and you don't deserve that. The uncomfortable reality most people ignore, but the bad thing is that many people don't realize these things and aren't ready to go through these tests and actually see. Many people actually know what's happening. Like I said, they're too comfortable. They don't want to move forward because they don't want to be alone. It's scary to be alone in this world. What's worse, being alone in this world or being surrounded by a bunch of people who don't care about you, don't have your best interests at heart? I'd rather be alone in that case. At least I know I have myself. And everyone around me has me, even if it's just me. The team is 100% solid. And if the ship is sinking, I'm sinking with it, because I am the ship. At least I don't have people inside my ship making holes from the inside, so water gets in and sinks my ship that I'm sinking with. Everyone who made holes in the ship will jump out and swim to safety, and then I'll be there drowning in my ship. That's how life works. That's how relationships work. That's how friendship works. That's why it's important to have quality people and energy around you. The life-changing analysis you must do. If it seems like your life is in constant decline and things just keep happening over and over, and there's much more bad than good in your life, start analyzing things around you, including yourself. You might be a nuisance to your own life if you weren't aware of it. The whole point of this message is for you to realize, for you to be aware, for you to act. Because if you know all these things and continue going through the same cycles, it's nobody's fault but yours. It's not good that people do things to you, and it's also not good that you allow people to do things to you, that you allow yourself to be in a space where people do these things to you. So even when I'm wrong, of course it upsets me, but I go right back to self-analysis, self-accountability. What could Shaman do, right? If I'm doing something and there are transactional relationships that I've noticed, and every time someone reaches out to me, it's about them asking for something, and I keep giving them what they want, I'm allowing them to do it, and I understand that. Some people I let it slide with, some people I don't. The self-care revolution. So understand me when I say this. You need to take some time and think about yourself. You need to take some time and do things for yourself. Friends can be rare in this generation. Real people can be rare or are becoming rarer. But you always have you. You can always be reliable for yourself, and you can always find people. They'll always be there. Now the quality of people varies, but you can also have something to do with that too. You know what I mean? We expect too much from people. Instead of trying to have one super person who's good at everything, just have pieces of that. If you like parties, find someone who loves going to parties, right? If you like someone who goes to book club, find someone who loves going to book club. You have all these people who have all these little qualities, right? I'm not saying expand and just reach out to everyone, but instead of trying to have this one person who cooks, cleans, goes to parties, she's in book club, and she's a scientist, and she's just, find yourself some people you can share conversation with, who you can have some fun with, maybe some of them you can talk to, and just find some peace. The 3-person rule that changes everything. But always have yourself. And among going out and connecting with all these people and sharing interests and conversations, you'll start weaving through all of them and see that there are about 3 good people you need. About 3 good people, 3 good people, and You'll start collecting one here and collecting one there and collecting one there. You'll have your friends, your inner circle, and then you'll have people outside of that. Maybe for some people it doesn't work that way, just a healthy way that's helped me. I know a lot of people. I'm not friends with many people, and I definitely don't have many people in my family. I'm connected to many people by blood. Blood doesn't make you family. Just because I shook your hand and I know you and we exchange conversation, that doesn't make us friends. You're not my enemy, but you're not my friend. I don't trust you with certain things. I trust you to be who you are, but who you are isn't someone I trust inside my circle or with a certain amount of my energy, and you don't get it. The personal revelation. So I'm just bringing attention because I have some threads that need to be cut in my own life, and I'll always be 100% honest. I'll always be upfront. I always make things very clear. So to reiterate another point I just made about transactional relationships, but anyone watching my videos and supporting me should know why I do what I do and how I feel about certain things. I take breaks from YouTube. I take breaks from creating content for myself. So if I don't post anything, you can still comment, "Hey, we miss you," or whatever. That's fine, but don't be ignorant. And if you didn't know, let me remind you, I take breaks for my own mental health. I'm not being lazy. I appreciate inspiration and motivation because when I see comments about people missing me, missing my content, it really makes me want to create more somewhere deep inside my brain. But when I see most of these comments, it actually makes me angry because I have things I'm going through. The last thing I want to do is sit in front of a camera and talk, then go through the hassle of editing and posting, which is something I actually enjoy doing. So I don't want that to get ruined. That's just my personal thing, you know what I'm saying? I like doing things, but when people tell me to do things I'm already doing, it kind of pisses me off, especially when it has to do with my mental health. The deeper psychology behind toxic connections. Let me dive deeper into something that's been haunting me lately, the psychological warfare that happens in these fake relationships. You know what's really twisted? These people don't even realize they're doing it half the time. They've been conditioned by a society that teaches them that everything is a competition, that everyone is either a stepping stone or an obstacle. They genuinely believe that using people is just being smart or playing the game. I've watched friends, and I use that term loosely, systematically destroy each other's confidence just to feel better about their own failures. There's this insidious pattern where someone will support your dreams publicly but privately plant seeds of doubt. "Oh, that's great that you want to start that business, but you know the failure rate is like 90%, right?" They'll say it with a smile, like they're looking out for you, but what they're really doing is trying to keep you at their level or below. And here's the kicker, we do it to ourselves too. We've internalized this scarcity mindset so deeply that we sabotage our own relationships before they even have a chance to flourish. We assume people are using us, so we start using them first as a defense mechanism. It becomes this vicious cycle where nobody trusts anybody and genuine connection becomes almost impossible. The social media amplification effect. Social media has made this whole situation exponentially worse. Now, these transactional relationships aren't just happening in private, they're being performed for an audience. People will post about their amazing friends and incredible support system while privately complaining about how nobody really cares about them. The performance of friendship has become more important than actual friendship. I see it all the time. Someone posts a photo with their friend group, everyone's smiling, looks like they're having the time of their lives. But behind the scenes, half of them are talking shit about the other half. They're keeping score of who paid for what, who got more likes on their post, who's getting more attention from potential romantic interests. Everything becomes a competition disguised as camaraderie. The worst part is that social media creates this artificial intimacy. You know what someone had for breakfast, you see their vacation photos, you know their relationship drama, but you don't actually know them. You don't know their struggles, their real fears, their actual dreams. You know their highlight reel and they know yours. And somehow we've convinced ourselves that this constitutes meaningful connection, the economic reality of modern friendship. Let's talk about something nobody wants to address, how economic inequality has completely screwed up friendships. When one person in a friend group is significantly better off financially than the others, it creates this weird dynamic where money becomes the elephant in the room that nobody talks about but everyone thinks about. The person with money starts feeling like they're being used every time someone suggests doing something that costs money. Meanwhile, the people without money start feeling resentful and left out when they can't participate in activities. It creates this tension where genuine gestures become suspect and natural social interactions become loaded with subtext. I've been on both sides of this equation, and it sucks either way. When I had less money, I found myself declining invitations not because I didn't want to go, but because I couldn't afford it and was too proud to say so. When I had more money, I found myself questioning whether people wanted to hang out with me or with my wallet. It's exhausting. The generational trauma of disconnection. Here's something that really gets me fired up. We're dealing with generations of people who never learned how to form healthy relationships because their parents didn't know how to form healthy relationships. We're walking around with these broken templates for connection, trying to build meaningful relationships with faulty blueprints. Our parents' generation dealt with their own traumas by working constantly and avoiding emotional intimacy. They showed love through providing material things rather than emotional availability. So, we grew up thinking that love and friendship are transactional by nature. We learned that if someone isn't giving you something tangible, they don't really care about you. This shows up in how we handle conflict too. Instead of having difficult conversations and working through problems, we just ghost people. Someone hurts our feelings, disappoints us, or doesn't meet our expectations, and we just disappear from their lives without explanation. We treat people like they're disposable because that's how we were treated, and the cycle continues. The spiritual emptiness behind surface level connections. What really bothers me is how spiritually empty these fake relationships leave us. When you're constantly performing a version of yourself to maintain these surface level connections, you lose touch with who you actually are. You start believing your own performance, and eventually, you don't know where the act ends and the real you begins. I spent years being whoever I thought people wanted me to be, and it nearly destroyed me. I was so busy trying to be likable, trying to be useful, trying to be indispensable, that I forgot to be authentic. And the crazy thing is, all those people I was trying so hard to please disappeared the moment I stopped performing for them. The loneliness you feel when you're surrounded by people who don't really know you is somehow worse than the loneliness you feel when you're actually alone. At least when you're alone, you're not pretending to be someone else. At least when you're alone, you can hear your own thoughts without the constant noise of other people's expectations and judgments. The revolutionary act of choosing yourself. This is where the real revolution begins. When you decide that your peace of mind is more important than other people's comfort with your choices. When you decide that being alone is better than being misunderstood. When you decide that quality is more important than quantity in every aspect of your life, people will call you selfish for setting boundaries. They'll accuse you of thinking you're better than them when you stop participating in drama. They'll try to guilt you back into old patterns by saying you've changed, like that's automatically a bad thing. Good. You should change. Growth requires change, and anyone who wants you to stay the same forever doesn't have your best interests at heart. The people who matter will respect your boundaries. The people who matter will understand when you need space. The people who matter will celebrate your growth instead of feeling threatened by it. And if someone gets upset when you start choosing yourself, they're telling you exactly who they are and what your relationship meant to them. The final truth, that changes everything. So I'm saying all this to say, I wish you the best in all your endeavors in life. Please take time from your day and from your life to analyze yourself and the people you surround yourself with and really see what relationships you have in life. Friendships, connections. Do you have people who genuinely care about you for you, or do you have people who genuinely care about your well-being for the sake of you providing them with something? And there's a difference, but you have to see it. You have to want to see it. And if you see it, that's only half the equation. What you do with that information is completely different. Because I don't mind helping people. I don't mind being a beacon of hope for people because that's what I've built. I went through things and I decided to tell my story and tell how I thought and share that with the world in hopes of helping myself first with the possibility of helping other people, which is a beautiful thing. But I'm also still me and I look out for myself first before everyone because if I don't do that, I can't even help you. So this is me analyzing my life, analyzing the energy I put out, the energy I receive, and just everything. Remember how I started by talking about that person sitting next to you, calculating what they can get from you? The uncomfortable truth is that person might be you too. We've all been on both sides of transactional relationships without realizing it. The real power isn't just in identifying the users in your life, it's in recognizing when you might be using others, and more importantly, learning to use solitude as a tool to become the kind of person worthy of genuine connection. The dark truth about modern friendships isn't just that people use each other, it's that we're all so afraid of being alone that we'd rather be in toxic connections than risk discovering who we really are in. Solitude. But here's what I've learned. When you master being alone, you become magnetic to the right people, and you become completely unattractive to the wrong ones. So, like I said, take care of yourselves, analyze your life, analyze your friends and your environment and your energy, and let me know what's happening in your life. This might just be conversation, I might be completely wrong, but I'd like to know what you think. Take care, everyone. I love you all.